Deep inside the Amazon rainforest, far away from modern cities, beyond roads, internet, and electricity, lives a small tribe whose language shocked the entire world of linguistics. A language with no numbers, no colors, no fixed words for the past or future, no creation myths, and possibly no recursion. Something many scientists once believed was impossible for human language. Imagine meeting people who do not count, do not obsess over positions, and live almost entirely in the present moment. Who are these people? Welcome to the mysterious world of the Pirahã people and their extraordinary language, Pirahã language. Today we journey into one of the most fascinating human cultures ever studied. The Pirahã people live along the bank of the Maici River in the Brazilian Amazon. Their population is very small, only a few hundred people. For centuries, they remained largely isolated from the outside world. The Amazon itself is one of the most dangerous and beautiful ecosystems on Earth. Gigantic snakes, poisonous insects, flooding rivers, relentless humidity, and endless jungle stretching farther than the eye can see. But for the Pirahã, this forest is not dangerous. It is home. They know the sounds of every bird, movements of animals, the rhythms of the river, the behavior of the forest at night. While modern humans rely on GPS, phones, clocks, and maps, the Pirahã rely on memory, observation, and instinct. To outsiders, their lives may seem primitive, but many anthropologists argue the opposite. Because despite having almost no material possessions, the Pirahã are often described as remarkably happy, calm, and socially connected. And that alone raises a profound question: what if civilization is not the only path to intelligence? In the 1970s, an American missionary had a linguist named Daniel Everett travel deep into the Amazon. His mission was simple: learn their language, translate the Bible, and convert the Pirahã to Christianity. But what happened next completely changed his life. Instead of converting the tribe transformed him. Everett spent decades living among the Pirahã. He learned their language, ate with them, hunted with them, raised his family near them. And slowly he began discovering something extraordinary. The Pirahã language seemed to break many of the rules that linguists believed all human languages followed. At the time, one of the most influential linguists in the world was Noam Chomsky. Chomsky proposed the idea of universal grammar, the theory that all human beings are born with an innate language structure hardwired into the brain. One feature believed to be universal was recursion. Recursion is the ability to place ideas inside other ideas. For example, the man who saw the dog that chased the cat. Sentences within sentences. This ability allows humans to create infinitely complex languages. But Everett claimed something shocking. The Pirahã language appeared to lack recursion entirely. If true, this was revolutionary. Some linguists called it impossible. Others called it one of the greatest linguistic discoveries in modern history. And the debate continues even today. One of the most famous facts about the Pirahã language is this: they do not have the exact numbers. No words for 1, 2, 3, or 100. Instead, they use approximate concepts similar to small amount and large amount. Researchers tested this multiple times. When shown objects, the Pirahã could roughly estimate quantity, but exact counting was extremely difficult. Now think about this carefully. Modern civilization is built on numbers. Money, time, science, technology, engineering, medicine, all are based on numbers. Everything depends on counting, but the Pirahã survived for centuries without it. This challenges a major assumption of modern society. Are numbers truly natural to humans, or are they cultural tools we learn? Some scientists argue that Pirahã reveal what the human mind looks like before mathematical abstraction becomes dominant, and perhaps even more surprising. The Pirahã themselves do not see this as a problem because their lives do not require counting. They fish, they hunt, they share resources, they survive. In their world, exact numbers are unnecessary. The Pirahã language also lacks fixed color words in the way many languages have them. Instead of precise labels like red, blue, green, yellow, they often describe colors through comparisons. For example, like blood or like leaves. This does not mean they cannot see colors. Of course they can. But language shapes attention. Modern societies categorize reality constantly. The Pirahã appear to experience reality more directly and descriptively rather than through rigid classification. This has fascinated psychologists and cognitive scientists for decades because it raises another question: does language shape thought, or does the thought exist independently from language? The Pirahã became central to this debate. Perhaps the most philosophically fascinating aspect of Pirahã culture is their focus on immediate experience. The Pirahã generally value things they have personally seen or directly experienced. Stories passed down over distant generations hold little importance to them. This made missionary work extremely difficult. Whenever I tried telling them about Jesus, they asked him something unexpected. Did you see him yourself? When he answered no, they lost interest. For the Pirahã, truth is strongly connected to direct experience. This worldview also affects time. The Pirahã language appears to focus heavily on the present rather than distant past or future. And perhaps because of this, they often appear usually free from anxiety about long-term plans, status, or accumulation. Many researchers observe that the Pirahã laugh often, share food freely, sleep whenever they feel tired, and place enormous value on community. They do not store large amounts of food. They do not aggressively accumulate wealth. Their society functions very differently from industrial civilization. Now, this does not mean their lives are easy. Life in the Amazon can be brutal. Disease, dangerous animals, floods, limited medical care. But despite these hardships, many outsiders notice something striking. The Pirahã often seemed emotionally resilient, and this deeply affected Everett himself. Over time, his exposure to the Pirahã worldview gradually transformed his beliefs about religion, language, and human nature. Eventually, the missionary who came to convert them lost his own faith. Over time, his exposure to the Pirahã worldview gradually transformed his beliefs about religion, language, and human nature. One of the most fascinating features of the Pirahã language is that it can be spoken not only through words, but also through humming, whistling, and musical tones. In the dense Amazon forest, this becomes incredibly useful. Hunters can communicate across long distances without shouting. Mothers can hum messages to babies. Communication blends naturally with the sounds of nature itself. This musical quality makes the language incredibly unique. To outsiders, it can sound almost like birds communicating through the jungle. Language here is not separated from the environment, it flows with it. But with the language comes a controversy. Not all linguists agree with Everett's conclusions. Some researchers argue that Pirahã do contain recursion in subtle ways. Others believe the claims were exaggerated. The debate became one of the most famous controversies in modern linguistics. Because if the Pirahã language truly lacks recursion, then one of the core assumptions about universal grammar may need revision. But even beyond science, the Pirahã force humanity to confront uncomfortable questions. What is intelligence? What makes a society advanced? Does complexity equal wisdom? Modern civilizations can send rockets into space, yet millions struggle with loneliness, stress, anxiety, and depression. Meanwhile, a tiny tribe in the Amazon survives with almost nothing. It often appears deeply connected to community and nature. Perhaps progress is more complicated than we think. Today, the Pirahã face increasing threats: deforestation, illegal mining, disease exposure, outside economic pressures. The Amazon rainforest itself is disappearing at an alarming rate, and with every disappearing tribe, humanity loses an entire way of understanding reality. A language is not just words, it is a different map of existence. When a language dies, a unique human perspective dies with it. The Pirahã remind us that human beings can live in radically different ways, not better, not worse, just different. And perhaps that diversity is humanity's one of the greatest treasures. The story of the Pirahã is more than a story about language. It is a mirror held up to modern civilization, a people with no obsession for possession, no endless planning for the future, no constant counting, yet they laugh, sing, survive, belong. Maybe intelligence is not only about technology, maybe wisdom is not only found in books, and maybe somewhere deep inside the Amazon rainforest, a tiny tribe still remembers something the modern world has forgotten: how to simply be human. And perhaps the real mystery is not how the Pirahã lives without our world, but why our world struggles so much without peace. If you enjoyed this deep documentary, subscribe for more videos exploring hidden cultures, mysterious languages, psychology, philosophy, and the unknown corners of human civilization. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.